I imagine that a significant portion of people who know who I am stumbled upon my work because of these guys here, portable emulators. I absolutely love these things. And by the way, side note, I'm a little heartbroken and kind of grieving over losing my Miyoo Mini Plus, this little guy right here. In fact, that video, the last video I ever shot of it. I was going to someone's party and I guess, I don't know, I wasn't paying attention, somehow misplaced it. It's gone. Thankfully, I've accumulated a few of these to last me a lifetime. I have another Miyoo Mini Plus and it's exactly like it, same color and everything. Even has the little Nintendo sticker that I attached to it to make it look a little more like a legitimate product. I'm still pretty heartbroken over it though. I will end up picking up another one because I really liked being able to play multiplayer Super Nintendo games on the go when I travel and stuff like that. It's awesome. It was awesome anyway. So I've had every portable emulator you can think of. My collection, which is part of it, most of it, is still in Canada, is somewhat like 25, 30 devices. And that's after the ones I sold because I just didn't have a use for anymore. You would think having access to all the latest and greatest in that space would probably mean that I would favor one of those devices for my retro gaming sessions, right? Well, you'd be wrong. Actually, the Miyoo Mini is still my favorite portable emulation device. This truly is the little emulator that could. And I feel like it's only gotten better with time. I just love this thing. And I feel like you would love one too, if you don't have one already, because I'm pretty sure there's a good chunk of you that actually already have it and you just saw somebody praising the Miyoo Mini and you're like, hell yeah, this guy's my kind of people, right? Well, welcome. You don't need to be told this, but I'll still tell you why this thing is awesome. The Miyoo Mini Plus. The Miyoo Mini, I've gotten used to saying Miyoo Mini Plus over the last couple of months, and now I have to refrain myself from calling this thing the wrong name. The Miyoo Mini was basically love at first sight for me. Its form factor is very, very reminiscent of an earlier device, the Bip Boy. Do you guys remember the Bip Boy? I covered it in my channel, and unfortunately, that's part of my collection that's still in Canada. I mean, it was basically this, just not as good. The bezels were bigger, it was more like plasticky and cheap feeling, and the emulation, you know, hit or miss. And it's interesting because when you turn this thing on, Miyoo, oh, I should have had it on for this. Oh. Man, I need to, I was turning it on to actually see, I should have had this on the entire time. I wanted to see what game I was playing, and I'm actually going through Worms Armageddon. I was a huge, huge fan of Worms right from the first game. And Worms Armageddon was like one of those classic sequels that surpasses the original in literally every single way. I featured Worms Armageddon recently in a video, in case you didn't see it, my favorite implementations of grappling hooks in video games. Worms Armageddon is pretty much the game that started it all, and I wanted to experience it again. It is a beloved turn-based strategy game where players control teams of, well, as the title says, worms. This is the PS1 port. I guess I should start right there. These things are pretty capable, and these micro emulators, they pretty much emulate all the way from the Atari 2600 to the PS1. This thing is running Onion OS, a great custom firmware. I didn't even mispronounce that. I'm just too much of a perfectionist. As I was saying, this thing is powered by Onion OS. Its original stock firmware is kind of horrible. They all tend to be. I love these things, and yet at the same time, it's kind of shocking how bad they perform right out of the box. In fact, I have been procrastinating reviewing this thing right here, the RG35XX Plus. What a mouthful. It's basically Ambernick's answer to the Miyoo Mini Plus. I forgot, I always try to remember to tell them to send me the DMG colored models, right? Like the ones that look like this. This is my jam. I mean, can you tell? I'm a mess. Oh man, I really need to touch this up. This was supposed to look like a Game Boy. It looked like a Game Boy when it was done, and of course I didn't care for it, so it looks like crap now. Anyway, this thing is a beauty, but the OS that it comes with is horrible. So I don't even feel like reviewing it yet. I feel like I'd be doing it a disservice. I don't think there is a version of this, right? Like on Embernick devices, The custom firmware is called Garlic OS. I don't think there's one out for this yet. I could be wrong. Anyway, yell at me in the comments if you want a review of this thing, even with the stock firmware anyway, I'll give it to you. As I was saying, out of the box, the experience on these things is pretty crappy. And thankfully, installing custom firmware is actually rather easy. Custom firmware on the Miyoo Mini. This is the exact same kind of presentation you get on the equivalent OS for the Miyoo Mini Plus. In fact, I think as of the latest versions, you just download one and it works for both. And I really love this feature, the game launcher. This is a list of your most recently played games with a helpful playtime counter at the top here. I love playtime counters. I feel like that should be a thing on everything. I'm kind of bummed out that when you die, you don't get, I mean, I'm assuming you don't, but I'm pretty sure you don't get a list of all the things you did, like how many miles you walked and how many, you know. I love that stuff. I don't know why, but like keeping track of like the time that I spent on something. Should I be making that noise? Did I break this one too? Oh no, it's the, oh yeah, no, that's okay. So the game switcher here, oh, I think that's the last one in the list. That is how you get to your most recently played games. I love this. Booting it up and then seeing a list of what I was playing and how long I've been playing it for. Phenomenal. It's a great presentation. I love it. Of course, if you don't like that, you can press B and go to the actual menu here. And it has themes, which is kind of fun. I like this one. That's the music from the, in fact, the whole interface, not just the song, is modeled after the SNES Classic. Remember those things? Even the music. Great job all around. By the way, this is something that I guess I should mention. The Miyoo Mini, the original one, has a couple of benefits over its bigger cousin, the Miyoo Mini Plus. You know it, right? You love it. You probably have one. This guy here is bigger, a little more comfortable to hold. It has Wi-Fi, which is a great addition. Like I said, if you have two, you can, oh, I was playing Aria of Sorrow. If you have two, you can play multiplayer. You can download the cover art for games when you have the ROMs here, like this. See, right there. You have the cover art for these. On the Miyoo Mini, unless you get all of the images from a different source and then load that all into the SD card, you're not going to have it looking like this. So there's that. Wi-Fi is nice for multiplayer, for fetching box art. If you're into making it look like this, I'm a sucker for like a nice presentation like this. So I do love this. One thing, well, I guess two things, actually three things that make this actually a little bit better than the Miyoo Mini Plus. So first, portability. Now, this will be a little bit too small for a lot of people, and it truly is. I'm not an overly tall guy. I'm like 5'7" on a good day, so my hands are not super huge. I can play this pretty comfortably, but this is definitely feels more at home in the hand for sure. And the weight, I will say, I like that. But the portability here means that you can take this with you everywhere. It's so small, in fact, that back when I worked in a hospital, I could just have this in my breast pocket for when I go for my break or whatever. I can just bust it out and then play some games. It was beautiful. And then it's so quick to go to sleep and then come back right back up from where I stopped. Now, one thing that I really like about this, the second feature that I feel like actually is a little bit better than the experience you get on a Miyoo Mini Plus, is the fact that there's a volume wheel here. And I actually like that way better. Now, this is a moving part, so that is something that could get damaged, but I really like the tactile feel of increasing and decreasing the volume. I feel like the Miyoo Mini Plus, the buttons here, it's okay, but they're like kind of slow. I'm not sure if you can see that, but like if I press it up and like let it go, it takes a while for the volume bar to catch up with that, and maybe it's the OCD in me, but I kind of hate that. I just pressed the button. I do like the scroll wheel for the volume here. And this, I think, will not matter to a lot of people. But the Miyoo Mini, or at least the first version, this one I have is a first version, has a battery pack here that doesn't connect with a little plug to the bottom. I think version 2 and up, they do have that. That is the design choice they made with the Miyoo Mini Plus. And I rather like the fact that I don't have to unplug something carefully to take the battery out of this thing. I actually came to need this recently when I spilled some water on my desk here, and some of it got on the Miyoo Mini. So I started drying it, and then I remembered I can just yank the battery right out, and I did that. I put it in rice. I know what you're gonna say, that apparently it damages stuff. And you know what? People saying this, they have the same energy of people telling us that, you know, that actually you're not supposed to blow into your SNES card. Shut up, man, shut up, shut up. You're too much of a nerd even for me. I was like blowing spittle into that shit. It worked forever. That's a lie. I broke my Super Nintendo in another way, but a cartridge has never failed on me over that. So nah. Anyway, so smaller form factor means you can take it anywhere. Some famous photographer said that the best camera is the one that's always with you, right? Something like that. I might have butchered it. The best emulator device is the one that you actually have with you, because you can have something amazing, like a Steam Deck, for instance. It's like the holy grail of portable gaming, for sure. But you can't take a Steam Deck the same places you take a Miyoo Mini. So beautiful. The volume wheel, I kind of like it, even though it is more fragile than just a rocker, like on the other one, and the battery that you can remove. This also means you could buy extra batteries and have spares with you if you're going away someplace where you don't expect to have constant access to electricity. So yeah, having an extra is kind of nice. And if you have accents like I did, it is a much safer way to make sure that you're not going to damage your device. If I were to, you know what, if I had spilled water on this thing, if that didn't kill it, I would finish it off by pulling this the wrong way and snapping it somehow. I don't know, man. But what do you think? I'm pretty sure there's a lot of Miyoo Mini and Miyoo Mini Plus fans in my audience. So tell me, which one is your favorite and why? Anyway, that's all the time I have for today. I'm Izzy and I'm done.